Let me get my screen in order. Okay. If y'all been on my live before, y'all know what I do. I got to make sure y'all can hear me. So let me check that real quick. Okay. Okay. All right. So you can hear me. So now I am going to get into it because a lot of us as nurses and any other professional, we procrastinate. Okay. We procrastinate about going to the next job, getting in a new area of nursing. And a lot of people, hello, stranger, how are you? I'm good. Hey, how are you? A lot of people, what they tend to do when they are nervous or don't want to take that leap of faith, they decide to stay where they're at because they're comfortable. So I don't know if you looked at the thumbnail of this video, if you just clicked on my live link because I popped up and a majority of the people on here are already online, or if I later link this to one of my shorts. But I'm glad that you're here. I definitely want to make sure that we are not stopping ourselves from being great. And a lot of people, what they tend to do is they're like I said, they're afraid. You know, they'll allow someone to talk to them and say, oh, well, if you do this, then you wasting your time and your money. And it's not the case, because the people that are higher up in nursing have that credential. So what I'm going to get into is for, and even if you're not a nurse per se, hey, Melanie, even if you're not a nurse per se, you need to think about this today. Do your research and start it in 2015. So myself, hello, Robert. So myself included, because I said that I was going to go and get my master's. Now I have my bachelor's degree. I went, a little backstory of me, I got my associate's degree at a community college, worked during the community college. Hello, everyone. Walked through community college while finished community college, worked as a nurse in the ER. Dale, I don't know what's going on with people and wanting to know feet and shoes. Dale, I have no shoes on. I am literally putting my feet on my white rug in this room. Okay. But anyway, so what I did was I got my associate's degree. I had 2 small children back then, so I didn't want to go to a university and go for 4 years without working as I am progressing my credential, my degree in nursing. So what I did was, when I passed boards the following month, because a lot of schools are affiliated with other colleges and they'll give you a discount. So the following month, if not the end of that month that I passed boards, I enrolled as a nursing student to get my bachelor's. Now, if you go from associate's degree to level up to bachelor's and master's, I'll go through the steps of that. If you are in nursing school now, or you've been through nursing school and you went to a university, you did your 4 years, you got your bachelor's, that's good as well. But, you know, everybody is different. So when you have your bachelor's, like what I currently do, I have, and you want to level up your finances, because myself, I have a pretty good paying job. I do work at a hospital. I won't go into the details because I know some of the people that I work with are on here, and I never want to say where I'm at. I don't do that in any video because I don't want anybody to place things together, and no, not doing that. So what happens is you can get a good job with your bachelor's degree depending on how much time you have been a nurse. But, hello, Becky. But if you're not in the right place, you can have the same time frame of nursing that I have, as well as a bachelor's degree, and still get paid less than 6 figures. You have to do your research. You have to line yourself up to be great. And you got to do your research. You definitely do. It's jobs outside of the bedside, which I talk about a lot of them on my channel, that you can work with the bachelor's, with an associate's degree. You just have to have some nursing time under your belt. Not 1 year, not 2 years, but you got to have some time, okay? And you can get those 6 figures. Now, having a six figure earning job is good, but it's not everything, okay? But it all depends on what you want to do in nursing. If you're tired of the bedside, get out of the bedside. What are you waiting for? Just apply for something else. I've done several videos on what to do if you want a 6-figure job, non-bedside. I have videos like that. I've went live before on stuff that can help you with nursing. This is all free, right? Free content. But what you need to do is think about what's your next step. If you're tired of the bedside, where would you like to go? Would you like to do case management? Would you like to do informatics? Would you like to do utilization management? Would you like to be still working with patients but not bedside? So infusion nursing, any type of outpatient clinic, ambulatory nursing, things of that sort. You can still work as a nurse without breaking your back. But if you're totally done with patient care, you don't want to touch anybody, don't even want to get vitals, and you want to get paid a good amount of money, yeah, what we need to do is level up our degree. Because depending on where you at, I mean, I've heard of some places, and they're not going to be easy to get in. Let's pause. Places that pay 6 figures to nurses are not going to be easy to get in unless you have the right degree, you have some nursing under your belt, and most of the time you got to know somebody. Somebody can't gatekeep. Another thing is if you are in a state that is higher paying, like California, New York, stuff like that. Hello, darling Fox, stuff like that. So what I will tell you is, if you're a nurse, RN, LPN, CNA, if you certified nurse assistant and you want to level yourself up, stop waiting on it. Because if you wait, years are going to pass. Years are going to pass by, and you're going to be like, dang, I should have did this 5 years ago, 2 years ago, last year. Because if you would have completed this, you would have been done or close to being done, depending on when you stopped what you thought about you were going to do moving forward. So for me, I definitely will be getting my master's. I will be working towards that. And it's so many colleges out here. When you have your bachelor's, going back to school is pretty easy. As a nurse, because you only doing papers, discussion board posts. If you're going to, let's say you're going to be an NP, you still have the discussion posts. You may have a few quizzes. Now, remember, I was in NP school a couple years back, and then I dropped out like a dummy because I let other people's thoughts in my mind, which you can't let nobody do that to you. You let other people's thoughts in your mind depict what you're going to do in the future, you're going to miss out on something great. But the good thing is you can always get back up and start again. So with NP school, just going off of what I went through when I was in school, is definitely going to be papers, right? It's nothing that Grammarly can't help you with. Most of the schools, they probably have some type of writing tutorer. So if you write a paper and you send it to them, they can critique it, you can change it, and then you can submit it. What's the other name of the one? It's Grammarly, and it's something else that helps you to line up your paper for APA format. But it makes it easier for you. to write those papers, right? Discussion board posts, you just looking up what you need to look up and writing it down and having some type of resources from where you got it from. Once you start doing it, it's like nothing. And then if you are a nurse with your bachelor's, maybe 2.5 max years it is. So while you're working where you're currently at, go back to school. The majority of it is online anyway. If you're going for NP, you have to do your clinicals. So your clinical rotation. So it'll be perfect if you worked 3/12s, 4/10s, so that you can set certain days off during the week so you could go and you can learn from those other NPs or a doctor on what to do for patient care. Now, it makes it a little more difficult when you are a Monday through Friday nurse and you only have the weekends off, when you're supposed to be getting your clinical rotation done throughout the week, because the clinics are only open throughout the week. It becomes hard. So if you're in that situation, again, do your research, see what's offered out there. Myself, I prefer to do stuff way far in advance to see what I need so everything can be smooth. When I get my master's degree, I do have credits already. So going back into school is going to be like dusting off brushing off the dust, because it's been a couple of years since I was in the NP program. So even if I don't go as an NP, I can go and get my master's in education. I can go for informatics. I can go for just a master's degree in general, which I don't recommend. I recommend you have a specialty, but you definitely can go in that because those maybe the first year of classes are pretty much the core. So I can take my classes and just throw them at whatever area that I need to get into. When I do get into class and decide on what I want to do, I'll give you more, but I'm a little secretive about stuff because I just like to give people good news at the end or tell you the process of what I've been through. So for those that are a nurse for 20 years and they're like, oh, I got my associate's degree, I don't want to do anything else, I'm okay with the bedside, kudos to you. Because the way my body is set up, I'm not bending, pushing, twisting for the rest of my nursing career. I can't do it. I can't. I don't know what is a new treatment for depression. I'm not sure. I'm not a mental health professional. So hopefully you have someone that you can talk to in regards to that, okay? But anyway, so let's get back to it. So when you're, like I said, in nursing for 20 years and you're okay with the wear and tear of bedside nursing, that's fine. But when you just tired of it, okay? It's nothing wrong with being tired of doing bedside. It's a lot of new grads that only work for a year and they're tired of it and they're switching over to like maybe a outpatient clinic type deal. And it's like, ooh, already? But people are not breaking their bodies anymore. So if you're tired of that, say you have your associates, get your butt back into school, okay? If you want to get out of the bedside, an easy way for you to do is, of course, apply for it. But what you need to do also is start taking your classes so you can get a better degree, okay? Associates will get you there. Bachelors will get you better. Masters will get you great, okay? Unless you want your DNP in nursing. So it's a lot of things that you can kind of do with where you are now. But it's not going to be easy if you have your associate's degree. A lot of these hospitals that we work at, facilities, I don't know about like the smaller facilities, if they pay for tuition reimbursement or not. But a lot of hospitals for sure I believe long-term care as well. Skilled nursing facility. I believe all of that is they offer tuition reimbursement. So while you're working there, you going to school, you send them that bill with your grades and they give it back to you on the paycheck. The red tape to that is they want you to stay with them for a certain amount of time. So it may be 2 years. They pay for 2 years of school. They want that 2 years from you as a provider if you decide to go for your MSN, or, just they want you to stay with them, because if not, they're going to want their money back. But another thing, if, say it's a hospital, right? The perfect setting is a hospital, in my opinion. The perfect setting is a hospital where you go back to school, you level up, you get your tuition reimbursement. You plan on staying at the hospital anyway, but just a different department, a different area. Say, for instance, you a bedside nurse, you get your master's in informatics. It's a hospital. They're going to have nurse informatics. It may not be a lot. It may be minimal, but they're going to have it. They may not be advertised where they have an opening. I mean, the hospital that I'm working at, I saw one nurse informatics position, but a lot of people really don't leave from that. They're comfortable. They're not doing any bedside. They're doing research. They good, right? Master's degree, 6 figures, no problem. When it comes to that hospital setting, just because they paid for you to go back to school, you got your degree. If you doing something where you got to take boards, going from associates to bachelors, you don't need to take boards. You already got your license when you got your associates. But going from bachelors to masters, if you go into the NP, then yes. Nurse practitioner, yes, you got to take boards. But informatics, no. Education, no. If you want to do certain certifications, then you could take those different tests, but you don't have to take boards for the majority of the master courses unless it's a nurse practitioner. So as you are in that hospital and you just want to get out the bedside, you apply for something, you have the credential, you have the time. What makes it easy for you? When you have the credential, you have the time as a nurse, and you've already in that location, in that hospital, it's a transfer. Transfers makes it easy because the hospital doesn't have to do all of this extra paperwork, background check, drug. Well, they may throw a random drug screen in there depending on the hospital. When you get a new role, they may just go ahead and make you drop some of that urine so they can make sure you ain't out here. And that's how people get caught up when they're not cautious. I don't do any drugs, but I'm just saying. It makes it easier when you're already in the hospital system and you want to apply for a different area. When you're in that different area with your credential, boom, you automatically are not going to get less of a pay. You're not going to get a pay cut. You're going to keep your rate of pay plus what that actual job description and pay rate entails, whatever bonuses that you get or whatever incentives, you get all of that on top of what you were already getting. So it makes it easier, 100%. If you in a nursing home and you going back to school to get something higher than associates or a bachelor's and you just want to get out the nursing home, you can get the tuition reimbursement, but like I said, people that pay for your school, they want you to stay there. So I wouldn't recommend it because if you cut ties with them too early, they're going to want their money. And nobody wants to pay not a provider. Nobody wants to pay a old boss. It has nothing to do with them, but nobody wants to pay their old employer money back. Right? They're supposed to be getting more money from their degree somewhere else or in a different department. And now they pulling on you like, you got to run that money. You don't want to do that. So hold on. Let me see. I'm missing some comments here. Trying to work it out. Hello, everyone. Hey, she said, that's right. Don't pigeonhole yourself, and definitely don't tell your next move is yes. I agree, because sometimes people open up their mouth so much. It's a lot of things that you guys will not really know about me because I'm a secretive person, but I don't mind sharing after everything is done. Not saying that I'm superstitious or anything, but it's some people that will throw the wrench in your story and wait for you to just tumble. People shouldn't be like that, but people are. Family, friends, strangers, it don't matter. Okay. Tracy Tucker, I'm an RN in pharma industry. I want to few shifts on weekends. Maybe Tracy, you mean went to have an associate's degree and it's hard. Okay, so Tracy, I did hear about pharma industries as nurses, and you don't really need the credential of having your bachelor's or your master's per se. But what I will say is it is hard. Like you said, without having certain degrees, you may be okay in that role for now, but what I've heard is working with, pharmaceuticals, you get a lot of money, but you have to get these providers to sign up for your stuff. Once you get a relationship with someone, then it's good if they decide to pick up what you're selling, right? If they're going to take the medication to give to their patients. And I got a video about medications and doctors and incentives. I'm going to talk about that in broken up into shorts this week coming up. But it's so hard to really grind and get that money. But they show in big pharma, oh, well, you don't need all of these credentials. You could do this, you can do that. Or techs. I keep saying techs, but tech sales. So tech sales in nursing is another big one that people go into and they make money. But what I will say about some of these, and this is not towards you at all, Tracy, this is just in general. Some people get into pharmaceutical companies, tech companies as a nurse because they're tired of the bedside, and it's okay, but they want to get more money. And with these tech companies, you have the ability to make a lot of money, but they also will lay you off. And you back to the drawing board trying to get money, right? I'm not sure about pharmaceutical, but I know that those jobs where it's sales, like you're no longer a nurse, you're a sales representative and a nurse. So you're using your nurse judgment to a certain degree, but you out here trying to sell and get commission, and I can't do it. I can't. So let me go back to, and if I didn't say hello to you, hello for everybody in the comments. I don't know what this is. I just started to, I clicked the button. I clicked the button and something else popped up. So I'm just going to ignore it because it's trying to, something about super chats and all of that. And I never really care for those. I just want to talk to y'all. Okay. So I don't know why that is even there. Maybe that's something new. Okay. But anyway. So while people are in the chat, because I like to interact now, I didn't forget about y'all. If you're in nursing right now or some type of profession, let me know. I know that Tracy says she has her associate's degree. Let me know what type of degree do you have, and if you're trying to go back to school starting next year, or at least think about it next year. I know I am. What people tend to do is they will, oh, I can make it a poll. Let's see. Are you looking to go back to school in 2025? There we go. We can make it a poll. I've done one of these before. Some people are kind of over going back to school, and it's okay. But what I will say, okay, there goes the poll. It's at the top. So if you're looking right now at this video and we're live, I don't think it does it for the replay. But let me know if you want to go back to school or not. And it's okay to not want to go back to school. Shoot, I didn't want to go back to school, but the more I became a nurse and the more I was tired of certain areas and I knew I couldn't get into them without leveling my associate's degree up, I was like, yeah, I'm taking my butt back to school. And it was just me thinking like, okay, I'm a researcher. So I'll research something a year in advance before I even do it. Because like right now, it's so many schools, not sponsored, but it's so many schools, and it makes it easy for you to go back. The Capellas, not sponsored. The Walden University, not sponsored. South, not sponsored. University of Phoenix. None of those schools are sponsored. I have not went to any of those schools either. I went to a community college. I went to an online school for my bachelor's, and then for my master's, that I started a couple years ago, I ended up going to like a brick and mortar school. Okay. But they had the online option. So being that where I am, even though the place that I'm at, I think this is for anybody. When you work with certain people, it's like, oh, I got to hurry up and get something together for my life because this ain't it. I'm not comfortable with where I am. I work with a younger and an older nurse, but it's like the older nurse is miserable and I have to sit in the office with that. And it's like, you know, when people write emails and be just mean for no reason to try to talk behind your back, I'd rather, hey, just say it to my face. We adults here. But that's the way that nurse is. The younger nurse, she's fine, but we literally, when we're in the office with the older nurse, we're just like, we just want to get out and do other things just to get a breather away. Have y'all ever, comment in the chat, have y'all ever worked with someone that was mentally draining you? You have to sit with them every day, or every day that you're at work, you have to sit with them, and they are mentally draining. Please let me know. I should make that I should make that a poll, but I gotta finish this one. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Mentally draining you. I've never worked with somebody that is this mentally draining, but it's like I have to ignore and push past because the job that I have pays me good money, but I can get another one. I can always transfer into another department, but of course I'll be starting from scratch. I'm gonna get to that, Marsha, in 1 second. I will be starting off from zero if I went to a different department, and I've created bonds with the doctors that I work with, but it's just one nurse and one other person that's in a non-nursing field that are headaches. I'm sorry, it's a total of 3. So I have a total of 3 people they go behind your back, all 3 of them. And no matter how good you are, somebody is always going to try to discredit you. And they do that for everybody. People are miserable. And just because they're miserable, never take that shine away from you. So I come in to work smiling, very vibrant. I totally ignore them and I greet everybody else. Because who has time for that? Right? So when you're tired of where you are, you want to make a change. You can make the change by applying for a different department, but Do you want to deal with that in another department? Do you want to level yourself up so you have to deal with, healthcare is a headache in general. Let's just be real. But do you want to level yourself up so that you don't have to deal with certain things, but it becomes a different headache, but it's more money? Or do you just want to forget nursing? Me, I worked too hard to get through nursing school, to pass boards, for me to on nursing. You can work as a nurse. I've shown on my channel, actually today in my short that I posted, I think it was at maybe 11 today, 3 hours ago, there was a 96-year-old nurse that retired. And I believe she worked in the OR. Not saying that that's going to be my case, but when you have your master's degree, okay, if you wanted to teach after you retired from working as a nurse, you can. You have your master's degree. If you want to be a nurse practitioner and work as a provider for another 20 years on your, because remember, when you were NP, you have your nursing license that you have to keep up to date, and you have your board certification, your ANCC, and I forgot the other one. But you have pretty much two licenses that you got to keep up with, okay, as a nurse practitioner. But it's some people that want to go into nursing research because they don't want to take care of the patient, deal with patient family. They're like, I'm done. I'm good. Let me level up, get me a higher paying job, still use my nurse judgment, but only on a computer, or only where I'm calling people on the phone as a triage nurse, or I'm calling people on the phone as a case manager, or utilization management with the insurance, stuff like that. Okay, let me get back to Marsh Lovely. Okay, how did you like online school for nursing? Okay, so online school for nursing, actually, I did like it. I believe when I was getting my associate's degree, I ended up taking a couple online classes when I was working, because I was a phlebotomist. So when I was working doing my prereqs, I did a couple online classes to see how things would be for the future. Because like I said, I research far in advance. And I know that online schools, Marsh, make sure they're accredited. Do not waste your money and your time on a school that you can't look up and they're not accredited, because you can go through school, get your degree, apply for a job, and guess what's going to happen? Depending on what kind of job you have, they're going to look that school up. They're going to say, oh, this one's not accredited. You pretty much screwed. You are. So do your research. I'm going to say that until I am, look, blue, like the light, blue in the face. Do your research, because it's important. But online school it gives you more flexibility, because when you work, absolutely not. I'm already married, sir. You said my third wife. Ain't no way I'm sharing my man. But thanks for your comment, Africa Unite. And my husband watches my lives too. Shout out to my baby. Anyway, so what I will say is the online schools are, for a working adult, easier. Marsh Lovely, let me know if you are already a nurse and you're just going back for nursing school. If you are trying to go to nursing school and do online, let me know that. Like if you're a non-nurse and you want to go to an online nursing school, let me know that as well in the comments. So yeah, so it gives you more flexibility, because, you know, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you work full time, you can still go to school online. Now, if you require clinical rotations, then you have to see if the school provides something that's around your schedule. If you work 312s, you know, it is what it is, because you can kind of like have your clinicals in between. If you work Monday through Friday, it becomes a little more difficult if they don't have a rotation, a weekend rotation, unless you work nights and you're going to be a zombie in the morning during your clinicals. but you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what's best for you. Okay. What is that? S shot? Oh, probably COVID. Still a requirement for this occupation. Is the COVID shot required for nursing? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I was one of the people that didn't want to get it until that shot was like a year old, but they forced us in my state, and I started traveling around that time. So in order for me to travel and make money, I had to get it. So I got it, and I was pissed about it, but I didn't have any side effects, things of that sort, as well as the hospital my husband was working at, they forced him to do it. They were like the last hospital to force, the employees to get the shot, which I don't think you should force anybody. I think like they do the flu, you have to have the form filled out. They do have it for as you say, the C shot. There is a form filled out, so that you could, if it's a religious, or, I forgot, what do they call it? Y'all know what I mean when they have that form for you to fill out and you are trying to opt out of getting that shot. They still have those forms and you can fill it out. You just got to have someone to fill it out for you, whether it's a doctor or if it's religion, if somebody in your church. Exemptions, right? Exemption forms. Appreciate that. Okay, let me get back to these comments. Hey, how are we? Oh, we're doing good. Is it chilling? Chilling Pyro. Thanks for asking. You welcome. Is this sister? Aya? I was gonna say sister, but it ain't no stuff there. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Okay, I'm interested in a master program online due to the flexibility. I'm currently working a 9 to 5. So Val. Oh, Aya. Hopefully I got that one now. So Val, you say you're interested in a master program online due to flexibility. I currently work a 9 to 5. Okay, what area do you want to? You laughing at me? What area in this master program do you want to get into? Because it's multiple ones that you can do. And depending on what area, is very easy. It's very easy to do the online classes. So let me know, Val, in the comments. Okay, let's see. Let me look at this poll. So 53% of everybody says no, they don't want to go back to school next year. And 47%, are looking to go back to school next year. So more than half out of 20 votes so far saying that they don't want to go back to school, and 45% says yes. And, a lot of people that I come across that maybe are older and they're like, oh, I'm just comfortable with where I'm at with my associate's degree, and I'm not going back to school. I don't want to write any papers and things of that sort. I'm like, it's so many resources out here. If you're afraid of writing papers, it's so many resources out here that can help you to write those papers. And these schools provide, these schools provide, they provide tutors, free tutors for stuff like this. So Tan, you want to shout out? Hey, Tan. But yes, people are afraid of writing papers. I mean, I have so many people that are in my comments from my shorts that'll write a book long of stuff. Not saying that the people that write those book long comments are not afraid to go back to school, but You could write all of this stuff on a cell phone. Why can't you type it up on the computer and ask somebody to help you? Or if you need to get back into the flow, I'm sure it's stuff out there. Like I said, Grammarly is one thing that helps you with your grammar, but I forgot the other one. I forgot what the other one is. Let me see if I can look on my computer and see it real quick. Perla. So Perla is something, and I kept that on my computer. That's something to help you format these papers from all the way down to your reference page. It's so much stuff out here to help you now. Why wait? If you want to go back, don't let paperwork ruin your chance of leveling up your degree and getting you more money as a nurse. If you ain't hear from nobody, you gonna hear from me today. If you need more in this economy right now is not giving us any more unless you level up. Your mortgage is going to increase due to taxes every year. Your car notes is going to increase. The gas, we'll see. The gas ain't coming down to $1 no more. It's $2, $3 depending on where you at. I'm sorry, $3 to $4 depending on where you at. Your kids' college funds, you don't want them in student loan debt, so you want to put money to a side. It's so many things that we want to do, but we can't if we don't have the right credential. Stop letting people get those jobs that you already applied for, but you don't have your credential. Myself, I'm going to tell y'all something quick. And then I'm going to get back to these messages that I'm missing. The comments. What I will say. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. I appreciate you saying I'm cute. I'm a married woman. I'm not going to flirt with nobody. It's no way. Okay. My husband is my everything, but I appreciate the comment. If you here for that, you might as well exit left. Okay. But I'm not going to stop this because I'm talking about level up in nursing for someone to flirt. And then you say in the comments, make sure that you read along. That's not important to me. Okay. Anyway. So, and a lot of people, they kind of put stuff in your comments just to pick with you as you're talking because maybe they're bored on social media, and that's okay. Continue to put the comments in because what do it do for me? Gives me more engagement, boosts my video up. But let me get back to what I came out here for. Okay, so let me scroll up so I don't miss it. Yes, I agree. And everybody don't. They don't. And it's okay. It's okay because you don't. That's their belief, right? I agree with you. Okay, so I totally, I saw that comment on my phone and I had to address that because no, I've been with my husband 13 years. I ain't about to let no internet, nobody take me away from me being a good wife and flirting with somebody online. Not doing it. Okay, so anyway, let me get back to this question or this comment that Val put on here because I totally forgot what I was saying beforehand since I had to address, the comments. Okay, Val, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing some type of leadership. NP is truly saturated in my area. Val, that is not the first time I've heard that NP is saturated in someone's area. I thought that as well. And one of the reasons why I got out of NP school a few years back was one of my close nursing friends. I call her my sister. She told me that her sister-in-law was an actual nurse practitioner. During COVID, she got laid off. And she had to work as a travel nurse under her RN because there was no NP jobs. I think you have to get that out of your mind because depending on what hospital you at, like my hospital, there are several openings for nurse practitioners that I see on I wouldn't say a weekly basis, maybe one or two in the area that I would go into. I mean, the location that I would go into, I would say maybe one a week, but monthly, I will see maybe a good 5 to 6 a month. So, it's easy for you to get into that role if you're already there. But it's harder to come on the outside when you're competing with people that's going to school for it on the inside, if that makes sense. So another thing that I thought of, and it's not my win all be all, I'm still figuring out where. I'm not going to tell you which hospital. I guess you weren't listening. I don't talk about where I work at on my channel at all. But what I will say is, when you get your NP, when I was in the ER, my manager was an NP. My nurse manager was an NP. And I don't know if she's ever worked as an NP, but you have a master's degree. So it's several things you could do with your NP. As an NP, of course, you can be a clinician. You can do telemedicine. You can do teaching. You can do education, and you can do leadership because you have a master's. So it seems like the NP, even though it's saturated in your area, you could do more with it. If you go just for education, you only could teach. If you go for informatics, you only can do informatics. And shoot, maybe I should get back into NP. I don't know. I'm kind of persuading myself. But what you have to think about is do your research. If you don't know, start looking now. Okay? A lot of us have downtime because, it's the holidays. Maybe your job isn't as busy as much. Take some time after work or on your off day and kind of do some research. Go on Google, right? YouTube is a part of Google, right? It's a search engine. What you need to do, I'm going to get to your message in a second. What you need to do is write down what you want to do. Whether, I doubt it's bedside anymore, but write down what you want to do. And see what area that you can get your master's in. For me, I like to maximize my master's. So if I'm going to get my master's, if I'm going to get my master's, I'm going to get it in an area where I can use it to better myself. And if I want to do something different, I can be able to maybe take a quick, they have postmaster certifications that you could take and do it like that. Okay, let me go back to the questions. Okay, a lot of this. Regina, I don't think I can translate what you're saying on my live like I could if you already had it out here and I could just click Google Translate. So I'm not 100% on what you're saying. I'm sorry. I only speak and read English. A little bit of French, but that was way back, okay? Can I help you find a job? Let's pause. A lot of my viewers, I'm not going to say subscribers, but a lot of my viewers have asked for me to find them a job in the United States. Like I tell everybody, you have to do your research. When I'm giving video content out here, it's more so for people in the United States, but I do give tips if I know them. I don't know about jobs in India. I've never been to India. I've had people say, how can I get from their country to the United States? That's some stuff that you have to look up. It truly is. You have to actually go on Google and look that information up. Call it pretty much, sometimes you can get an agency to get you where you are to come to the United States. But say you're a doctor in another state and you want to work in the United States under that license, you cannot. So if you are trying to come to the United States from another country and you want to work as what you were there, you got to retest, or you got to look over, like for nurses. Let's just say a nurse example. You a nurse in India or the Philippines or Africa or wherever you at, right? And you want to work over here in the United States as a nurse as well. In order for you to be a licensed nurse here, no, I don't do house calls. No way. Thanks for trying to be funny though. In order for you to do nursing over here, you have to, for nurses, we take NCLEX. NCLEX. You have to take the NCLEX. You have to pass it here for you to be licensed in the United States. I've worked with, when I was a nurse supervisor in dialysis, I've worked with nurses and doctors that were techs, okay, that couldn't pass the NCLEX in the United States. So they had to work below what they are usually, doing. And in order for them to move up, they had to study, take boards, and pass the tests. That's just how it is. So when you're trying to go from one country over to the U.S., that's what the U.S. requires. Okay, let me see. Well, I work at McD, but this sounds interesting. Leo, are you talking about McDonald's? If you're saying you work at McDonald's and a nurse practitioner is interesting, that's a good start. But what I will, I'm glad you said that. Even if it was a joke. I don't know if it was, but there's a lot of people that have a non-nursing background that want to just go straight to NP. I do not recommend that at all. I prefer, and I believe a lot of employers prefer, for you to have some type of nursing under your belt. Okay. You get your degree, whether it's associate's, bachelor's, you start working. You don't even have nurse judgment until a couple of years into nursing. So how can you be a nurse practitioner, meaning a nurse provider, meaning you're right up underneath the doctors. So it's like the PAs, the physician assistants, and the NPs. We're like here, and then the doctor is right there. So it's no way that you can go from 0 to NP and people will respect you without working as a nurse first. Because the majority of the nurses that I've come across that are NPs, nurse practitioners, they have been a nurse for at least 10 years. If they became a nurse 5 years, went to school, finished school in 2.5, 3 years, they've been a nurse for 8 years. So get your nursing judgment, get your nursing experience before you go to school. Because I worked with a nurse. She just graduated. Again, this was dialysis. She just graduated school and she said she going for NP. And she was in school for NP. PA is a physician's assistant. What about it? Give me more detail about what you're asking, because a PA is a non-nurse, but it's a physician's assistant. So not the doctor, right up underneath. If that answers your question, or if you want to know more in particular, let me know. But yeah, so the do not go from 0 to NP, because it's going to show. As a nurse practitioner, you go through different things as a nurse. You learn stuff at the bedside. You learn stuff outside of the bedside. You have nurse judgment. So most of the time when you are working, certain stuff stick to you. So when you're a provider, you're going to remember certain things and you're going to want to say, hey, can we try this or can we do this because blah, blah, blah. Based on your nurse judgment, your nurse experience, evidence-based practice, stuff like that. Okay, let me go down on these comments. How long was my journey? And what? My journey from nursing. Give me more details. Let me see. Love your interior design. Thank you. Actually, this was a combination of me and my husband. The flower decor. I mean, we did like a boho type thing, and I kind of, because we business partners, and we have something outside of here that we host, and we had guests and things of that sort. But this pink couch, I love pink, so that's that. And then the little flower decor behind me is his doing. Pinterest, he got creative. I was like, okay, babe. This light that I'm using on my lives or my regular videos, that's his. He is a photographer, center photographer. So my man is everything. Okay. Not to toot his own horn, but yes. So I also have a light right here, Godox. So it comes off here. The actual light in the room is off, but he set me up for greatness. So, and of course, it's working out because of him. This was not all my doing, but we collectively came with this. But I mean, this setup wasn't that expensive. And since my 2 older daughters are in college, I was like, oh, one of these rooms is going to be my content room. So I don't have to worry about the extra noise in the house for when my baby girl is, doing cartoons, watching cartoons, playing around. If the dog want to be extra loud, he out the way because the door closed. But thank you for that. All right. Let me go down. What's the most challenging thing you had to overcome? The most challenging thing in nursing that I had to overcome. Let's see. So far, because my nursing journey is not over, I believe the most challenging may have been when I was a nurse supervisor. My boss, which is a nurse manager, was only in the building for a few hours a day. Like maybe out of the 8 hours or the 10 hours that I've worked, she would be there for like maybe 4.5, 5. And the clinic, the staff that I had, the patients that I had, they relied on both of us, but they more so relied on me because I was there. They saw my face. I literally was close to, like I still live around the corner from my old, my job that I had. And, if something happened, I could just get up and go 5 minutes or less. But the most challenging thing was having that burden of taking care of a whole clinic. I think I had about maybe 150 patients, maybe 40 plus staff. And when my boss, I literally was on vacation. I was on a cruise with my husband around his birthday a few years back. And my boss was pregnant at the time with one of her several kids. She went into early labor. So she didn't fully train me for where I needed to be and do in the clinic because we were short staffed. So I knew how to run the floor. I knew how to order stuff, but the behind the scenes paperwork and stuff like that, no. And everybody, the higher ups, knew that I didn't know that stuff. So when she went into labor and I come back and I'm getting all these texts and phone calls, I'm like, I didn't know this stuff. I was just on a boat. So it was challenging to me because I had to take over that role with minimal training. The good thing is my boss's boss, right? My boss's boss, she's now retired. She made sure that I was lined up with the sister clinics and they helped me. Another person that helped me a lot was the social worker. I think she's still there. I love her to this day. I was trying to get her to go travel with me because they have travel social work positions when I did travel case management, but she would not go. I was like, please, you're just too comfortable here. Let's go make some money. But she stayed there. But yes, she helped me a lot. We worked that clinic together. It was not 100% me at all, but that was a bit of a challenge because being that I was new to my role, like I said, I wasn't fully trained. We were short, so I was out there running a pod, getting my dialysis patients off, ordering medication, stuff like that, but I didn't know what to do for the computers. And what she was trying to do was still work on maternity leave, and we shut that down. So I had to make the schedule for the patients, for the staff. I also had to do payroll, which, that wasn't too bad because everybody had my number. And the good thing about me when I was working as a supervisor, when we were short, I had a few people to text that wanted overtime. So I would just, we need help for, and I wouldn't say the whole shift, maybe 4 hours. And I had multiple people like, yep, I can do that. Yep, you need help on this day. Oh, you want me to work the holiday? It was smooth like that. But coming from somebody that didn't have the experience enough to actually be a manager with the full amount of training, that part was horrible. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay. I think you wrote back down nursing from start to where I am. So my journey right now, let me see. I graduated nursing school in the end of 2015, took boards the beginning of 2016. And it's 2024, 2025 in what? A couple of days. So that's where I am. I got my bachelor's right now. I'm working on getting my master's next year. Of course, a master's is not going to be something that I get in a 1-year time span. So, hopefully the credits that I have is transferable, or if I decide to go back to the same school, I'll figure that out when it happens. But I already got a few names of schools and the requirements and who takes certain credits. So I'm doing my research like I tell y'all. And yeah, so look at the poll. It looks like 54% of people are thinking about going back to school next year, 2025. So 47 votes so far. So that no went to yes. And that's a good thing. It's nothing wrong with leveling yourself up. It's going to pay for itself if you're going into the right field, if you see the jobs out there. People, when they talk about I think Tracy, like what Tracy was saying, people talk about NPs being so saturated, but it's not. You're not looking good enough. It's jobs out there. When you look at doctor's offices, they're going to pay you the lowest amount if you're a new grad. You rather work at a hospital. Hospitals want to, first of all, nurse practitioners, what they do is they unload the caseload off the doctors. With nurse practitioners, they're probably going to give you the most stable patients, maybe somebody that has a little bit of something wrong with them, but not the critical patients. Excuse me. So when I did a poll the other day on my, why did I just forget what it was? My community tab, because I do polls every day. When I said, which would you prefer, a nurse practitioner or a doctor or both? And then I saw a comment, because the comments that I heard, I read them. I done read thousands of comments in a month because I appreciate y'all for writing me and giving me y'all opinion. So there was one comment that said, I would prefer an MD, a medical doctor, to do the severe things, and an NP, nurse practitioner, to do the simple things. That's the majority of how it goes at a hospital and healthcare. Doctor's offices. The doctors are not going to give that nurse practitioner that's not a medical doctor the most critical patient. Now, if the nurse practitioner catches something that's extra critical, then that's something different. But their patient load is going to be the majority healthier patients, not the critically ill that need a medical doctor. That's not the case. So if you think that that's what it is, no. Like if, say you have a nurse practitioner that is seeing you and you're with the doctor's office and he has or she has multiple nurse practitioners. When you have to go back to your doctor, it may just be for something that came back on a scan that they have to go over with you. If the nurse practitioner has you to go and do scans and everything is fine, you'll have something with them. So kind of giving you a little bit of the difference. Nurse practitioners are not going to have that extra hard doctor caseload. You're going to have a certain amount of patients, just like they are, but the severity, the sick, the critically ill is not going to go to the nurse practitioner. It's not. Okay, let me look and see. Can you most likely buy and study the nursing school books required for testing and not actually take the certification? Me. Like I would like to study on my own time prior to taking the actual schooling. I wouldn't recommend that because this give me Florida vibes. You know, when the Florida nurses was paying to take the boards and wasn't going to school. Now, in order for you to, let's clarify, me. Is it me, Mimi, or me, meme? Either way, I'm talking to you. Let's clarify. Are you saying you just want to study so that you could take the nursing test without school? Let me know that in the comments, and then I can give you a better answer. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Like, would you like to study on your own time prior to taking the actual? Okay, so maybe I'm reading it wrong. So it looks like you said study on your own time prior to taking actual schooling. So you can always get those little practice books. After reading, I can understand material before schooling. So depending on when you go to school, like say you're going to school next month, depending on what the syllabus is, they're going to have you to go through different books. If you just want to do like some test questions to kind of help you generally get an idea of what the NCLEX is like, I would probably tell you to do that than trying to get textbooks of something, because say you find a textbook and when you go back to school or when you go to school for nursing, they don't even use that because they're no longer on that edition and they switch to something else. So then it becomes a waste of your time reading this textbook to try to get stuff together before school. So if you want to look at some test questions, you can do that. And they sell those books on Amazon. It's no problem. But just go through school. Don't be nervous. Find a study buddy in school. To this day, I call my study buddy I call her my sister. My study buddy is my nursing sister, okay? And we literally are extra cool. From nursing school, we struggled, we passed, and we still nurses to this day. But the best thing before going to nursing school, relax, make sure that your affairs are in order. If you have children, make sure that you have somebody that's going to watch those kids during your study time. Or you can or if you don't have any children, make sure that you get your party and all out the way, because you're going to be boring, okay, in nursing school, especially your core nursing school, like your associate's degree, bachelor's. If you've never been to nursing school at all, it's going to be a boring life, but you're going to fill it up with knowledge that you need for nursing school, for doing your clinicals, for passing boards. So it's okay. You don't have to necessarily find the textbooks. If it makes you feel better, do the test questions. Okay? Okay, let me see. Long stick. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that. You see, it said that how they treat nurses in your country. Well, that's terrible to hear, because I mean, it's a lot of nurses that get treated like trash. But it's a lot of nurses that give off that to be treated like trash. And it's some that don't. And they suck it up and they keep moving forward. I'm one that suck it up and keep moving forward, but you shouldn't have to. If you're greeting somebody with being nice, giving information, if they're afraid, you understand, you talk to them in a calm manner, or just regular, greeting them like they're regular people. Usually you don't get to that, but there are some nurses that are snotty, and I mean, people gonna match their energy. Okay. I can't change my accent to British, sorry. Yes, Char B. Every new nurse should work in the hospital. Yes, I agree. Nurses need to understand the machine from the ground floor to be successful. 100%. 100%. Some people, they start off in home care, and home care is okay. But if you're going to be a nurse practitioner, unless you're going to do home care visits, you need to get in the hospital. Hold on, guys. Yes, ma'am.
Can I get my pudding?
Yes, you can get a pudding.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye. Snack time. Okay, so I would love to have you guide me on getting back into school. Thank you for answering my questions. Appreciate you and wish you an abundance of blessings on your journey. Thank you so much. Tell me, where are you at right now with getting back into school? Are you currently working as a nurse, or are you trying to get into nursing school? Let me know that part so we can start a foundation. And let me see, Chart B. I have a friend who, let me scroll back. I have a friend who's a certified psychiatric NP. She's currently working at a psych hospital. Oh my gosh, she calls me all the time to tell me how scared she is and how dangerous the environment is. Yeah, I don't want to work in psych at all. As a old ER nurse, you became an ER nurse and a psych nurse because they have psych holding, and everybody had to rotate into the psych area. It didn't matter. Now, the place that I got my foundation from, they hire LPNs. So the LPNs are more so in the psych area because the RNs can push medications and stuff. And sometimes, unless they take some type of course, the LPNs cannot. So they put them in like our little fast track area or in the psych area and go from there. But yeah, I don't like psych. I don't want to do psych. And it's some people, like a friend of mine, she told me, I'm sorry, I had to pop that. A friend of mine told me that she wanted to go back to school to get her NP to work as a telemedicine psych nurse practitioner. I don't know how easy it is. I don't know how easy it is for you to just get your degree in psych NP and then just straight up do telemedicine. I'm sure you would have to get some type of foundation in the hospital, but who knows? That's not my area that I want to get into, but it is what it is. Okay. Let me see. In the meantime, I've worked maximum security. You know what? I have a coworker that's an LPN that works in the jails because they give so many incentives because a lot of people don't want to work in the jail. So it's bonuses for when they pick up or complete stuff. And she do this on the side. Like she do it on the weekend and she worked Monday through Friday at the hospital. So I thought about doing like maybe a travel corrections job, but my husband was like, nope. My aunt was like, nope, because my aunt has been a nurse for over 40 years. She was like, nope, you're not doing that. I'm like, but it's security there. Nope, not doing it. I hear that correctional nursing is very easy, but I guess I'll never know. But it was a thought. It wasn't burned into my head. If it was, then I'd probably be like, okay, well, I'm going to just try this contract. But no, I ended up working somewhere else. Okay. I love your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, let me go down. Treat your nurses like you want to be treated. 100%. 100%. I also worked in the ED in the beginning. Yes, I think the foundation of having trauma, emergency, that's a good foundation, because when you're working as a nurse and you go into a different department, no discredit to anybody else. Don't take it like anything. But if you start off as a OB or labor and delivery, if something is going on with maybe an adult male, something happens, and you can go over what is happening with them through your nursing practice that you may have had in the ED, emergency department, and just say, oh, okay, I know what to do. I remember like a lot of these videos that I show on here, not all of them, but a lot of them I've seen. So I know what to do in some of those scenarios. Other than the abuse, I do not condone anybody that is abusing these patients. That is a no-no. That's number one, getting rid of your license. That's number two, getting rid of your job. And that's number three, setting yourself up to be sued. That is a no-no. You don't get into nursing to be abusing nobody. If you don't want to work no more in that area, quit. Okay? Don't beat up these patients. I had to say that because it was a couple of people saying that, the nurse that got CPS called on her, which I don't know what's going on right now with the investigation. I pray that her children and are safe, and her and her husband get their lives together, because they need definite parenting skills. I don't know if CPS took anybody away. The girl had a sabbatical, so she ain't been on TikTok, because I used to do other videos on her. But I say give somebody, I'm hitting this mic, sorry. I say give somebody grace, and they're like, no, nobody gets grace. Everybody needs a chance to correct themselves. Everybody needs that. Nobody in this bad boy perfect. Anybody in the comments of that video that says nobody needs grace, they're not perfect. They not. I'm not saying that the abuse is good. It's not. It's not. It's clearly not. But I think that both of the parents need some help. And I don't care if them kids need to go with a grandparent or an aunt, an uncle. They need to be taken away from those parents, as we have been looking at these videos. And I said get this lady grace because she's postpartum around that time. But then I saw other videos where she feeding her, the baby that had the knife in his hand, she's feeding him jalapeno peppers when he was a itty bitty baby. I'm like, what are you doing? Now, I love spice. I'm a spicy girl. But I'm not feeding my kids that. I may have given maybe some lemon to get that sour, but I'm not going to give a spicy pepper to a baby. No. And I think they think it's funny because everything is being filmed. Like my daughter that just came in here asking for a snack. She's not always in my videos. She may come into the live and say hey or whatever, but no. Nope. Not doing it. All right, me. I'm a CNA in a nursing home, and so if I'm looking into school for RN, in the future, after certification, should I change the hospital setting for experience, or nursing home is okay for certain aspects? Okay. Now, if you want to stay in a nursing home, you can. You definitely can. But what I will say, if you're a CNA, you go into nursing school to be an RN and you stay there, the other CNAs that you're used to working with may not take you seriously. It's sad to say that, but you may, if you want to still work in a skilled nursing facility, nursing home, long-term care, you may have to go to another one after after you get your degree and you get your RN. Pretty much. But if you like that place and you have to put your foot down, if you delegating orders to them when you are a nurse and you're delegating orders to your fellow CNAs, you got to make sure that you're not doing their job and yours. You can be helpful. I'm 100% helpful with my patients. It's something that I could do, I'll do it. Like, I mean, where I'm at now, I'm not doing bedside, so I'm not putting anybody on the bedpan. But when I was in the ICU, baby, if a patient said I got to use the bathroom, okay, well, let me glove up. Let me get the bedpan, pull that arm rail up, grab the arm rail, move them over, tuck that bedpan under there, help them go back, elevate the back of the bed so that they're in a sitting position, but not all the way up. And I'll get them the light and say, well, when you're done, hit the light. And what do? I go and I talk to my CNA or PCT, patient care tech, and say, oh, I put patient in room so-and-so on the bedpan. They're going to hit the light when they're done. Can you take care of that for me? That's teamwork. People don't always do that. But that's just me. Some people do. But you have to, if you're not working with your staff to do teamwork, they're not going to have your back. And you're going to have a horrible shift if you can't do that with your fellow coworkers. I said it, and I'm going to stick to that. You have to do teamwork, especially if they down the hall. Now, if they doing something and this patient has to use the restroom and you in a room with them, don't leave out to go get somebody to put them on the bedpan. Or if you got to help them go to the commode, if this is a heavy patient and you need to have two people, then get them situated, but say, okay, let me go grab somebody so that we can help you get on there and you stay in there with that patient. That ain't that hard, right? All right, let me see. You give excellent advice. Thank you, Char. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any questions? And look at the poll. 55% is looking back to go to school. Let me do another poll real quick. And let's see. Okay. If going back to school, I wonder, will it give me more options? It does. Okay, when going back to school for nursing, which degree are you looking to get into? So this is me pretty much just asking, if you're going back to school, are you trying to get your associate's degree, meaning you haven't worked as a nurse at all, you're just trying to get your foundation? Do you need to go back from your associates to get your bachelor's? Or are you trying to do like myself, level up and get your master's? And then I'm going to put one for the people that don't want to go back to school. I like these little polls. It allows me to see what you guys are thinking, as well as, people they may not be able to type, or, they may not be able to speak right now. They may be listening on an earbud at work or doing something else, and they may not be able to, but they can click a little box. Okay, if you're going back to school for nursing, which degree are you, put you twice, looking to get into? All right, I started the new poll. I want to see what y'all saying. I gave you 4 options. Charles, what are you saying? What are you saying? What are you? Okay. Yeah. So, all right. I want to see the votes. All right. So far, associate's degree and bachelor's. I need some more votes. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about? Thank you all nurses for your service. Oh, that's so sweet, Lulu. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to talk about anything? Any questions, comments? Like Lulu, that was so sweet. Let me know. Caitlin, are you a nurse? And all the nurses that's watching, whether you're watching after I've had this live stream, okay. I appreciate y'all for engaging with me. Hopefully we're encouraging more people to become nurses because there is, oh, you in middle school. How sweet. All right, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. So for the nurses that, I appreciate you guys for engaging with me, with others. Thank you for your service. Nursing is not an easy job. It's not for the weak. You definitely have to have the heart for it because, we see nurses that probably shouldn't be in nursing anymore when you sitting here trying to beat somebody with a broom. And you one of the highest nurses that you can beat in that facility. Where you see patients abusing these patients in nursing homes and their regular CNAs. And it's just terrible. Get into nursing if you had a heart for it. If you're just doing it for the money and don't have a heart for it, because let's pause. People say, well, you just getting into nursing for the money. Nobody volunteers as a nurse. Not this young. Usually the people that volunteer, they're nursing, not really, you can't really volunteer, it's a liability. But most of the people that volunteer and they've been a nurse, it's usually because they're retired. And they don't want to be at home for long, so they'll stick around to help a little bit, but they're not going to do like a full load. They're not going to do that. So yes, thank you for your service. Get into nursing. For the people that's non-nursing, get into nursing if you have the heart for it. Do not get into nursing if you just want a higher paycheck. It is other jobs out here that you can get if you don't have a heart for nursing. If you don't have a heart to help patients, whether they're happy patients, mad patients, sick patients, healthy patients, where they just doing a regular little checkup with you. Don't get into it. Get into it if you want to be of assistance and you want to help. If you see yourself going into this field and you no longer feel like, oh, I can be sweet, I'm turning into somebody naggy and mean, it's time for you to get out of what you're doing. Get out of that position. Find something else, because maybe you're burnt out. And even if you're not on the bedside, maybe you're burnt out where you at. It doesn't take long for you to be burnt out in something when you've had it. When it's been up here, you had it, still be a nurse, work somewhere else. I don't know if you could get something work from home and that's helpful, or if you just need to transfer to a different department, but do it. Because even though you're not doing a bedside nursing, you still can be helpful to your patients. Because sometimes people just don't know. Sometimes they'll see their doctor and their doctor will say all of this medical jargon that's just over their head. It's just too much. And they still need you as a nurse to break that down, to help. Okay, let me see. Would you ever teach nursing or not? A lot of patience for it. I'd rather work than train people. Actually, I would. It's a reason why I had this channel. I actually wouldn't mind teaching. The only difference is if I was to get my degree, like I mentioned a little earlier, if I was to get my master's in education and I wanted to work in other areas, like, not to sound money hungry, but I don't want to get my master's in a certain area and then go and teach in a college and I'm getting a pay cut. I didn't go to school to get my master's to have a pay cut. My master's is for me to level up my knowledge and my income. Nothing less than that. I'm still going to be the sweet nurse. I'm still going, if you see me and you my patient, I'm still going to crack jokes with you because that's my personality. But yes, I actually would love to teach. But what these schools are paying is less than what I'm getting with my bachelor's. So teaching probably would be more so something if I wanted to kind of not retire from nursing, but kind of if I'm fed up with nursing and I don't want to do what I'm doing for so long and I want to teach the oncoming nurses. Yes, I've done preceptorships. I've trained people. That's not a big deal. But nursing is forever a role, a position that we need. Nobody wants to get replaced with robots, AI, none of that. We need a patient's touch, understanding, love, compassion. We need that in nursing. And a lot of the people, especially during the pandemic, a lot of the people that had that were nurses for some time were afraid. They went into early retirement. Some doctors did that. Some people passed away. So we always need those nurses. So I'm going to always encourage people, go back to school, get your nursing degree. If you got your associates, level up to your bachelor's. If you got your bachelor's, level up to your master's, because you're the only one that's blocking you from being great. If your job requires for you to level up your education, for you to get more money, you better do that then, because you're working there anyway. So find a way. It's so many websites that do scholarships. Don't be dumb. Not calling nobody dumb, but don't be silly. How about that? Don't be silly. Do your research, because that's what She Nurse Savvy says. Do your research. Look up scholarships, whether you getting your associates, your bachelor's, your master's. It's scholarships in nursing for all three, even DNPs. Do your research on the school. The school may give you scholarships, even masters. Do your research. See if your employer is going to pay for your school. If you want to stay with them for at least 2 to 3 years after you get your degree, have them pay for it. Have them reimburse you. So it's not that you in so much debt. You're leveling up your degree. You allowing scholarships, grants, your employer to pay for your school. And when you get that money back, don't just blow it. Put it to a side. When you graduate, you can put it in there. Put it in there and pay it off. Or if you already have student loans, start throwing that over there. Like, hey, help me out. Lower these student loans, because everybody didn't get their loans forgiven. Okay? All right, let me see. So far, 50% is going for their bachelor's. Okay. That is good to see. Let me look at these comments. Wishing you all the best and a happy new year. Take care and please be safe. Thank you, Melanie. All right. After my heart and lung surgery due to my chronic illness, some nurses made me cry, but mostly were very nice and went beyond their way to make me comfortable holding my hand and making me my hairstyle. I love those nice nurses. Those were a reason I survived the hospital period. Oh, that's good to hear. It's good that you have some compassionate nurses around you, because a lot of people will televise the bad ones. If I'm lying, say it in the comments. Say, She Nurse Savvy, you lying. A lot of them will televise the bad ones. They will televise something that's going wrong because people want to throw it up on social media so quick and record everything. Those videos that I do green screens on, I do not, that is not my content. But they put it on social media. So what I do is I grab it, I do my reviews on it, and go from there. But it's so many good nurses out there that don't even get the credit that they need. They don't. And it's unfortunate, but you know what? The nurses that are, I'm going to look at your message in a second, Jacqueline. But the nurses that's out there just to be there for the patients and don't need the kudos, the congratulatory things, the daisies, none of that, even though I did get a daisy nomination when I was a travel nurse. But it's not all about none of that. You there for the patients. Your congratulatory remarks, your all of that good stuff is when your patient gets better and you're able to make them smile. It's nothing better than to see somebody that comes in that has issues, that's sick, and you see them progress into better things. That was everything. When I first was in the ICU, because the ER, you in and out, you kind of see people and you either discharge them home or you send them upstairs, but you don't see the progression of days of them getting better or getting worse. So ICU definitely showed me that. Okay, so true. I work during pre-certification, not hands-on, but still helping patients. Okay. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns? Oh, thanks, Melanie. Take care. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? I want to make sure that nobody is left behind. I probably will. Let me see what this poll looking like. All right. Anybody else want to vote on the poll? If you are going back to school for nursing, are you getting your associate's degree, your master's, your bachelor's, or no school for me? I'm going to leave that poll up for just a little bit, but I don't want to keep y'all from y'all Saturday, so I'm not going to. Oh, I probably got to end the poll when I end the live, right? Maybe I'm going to keep it up to see if it stays up there, because this is my first time doing a poll where I haven't ended it. I usually end them during the live, so we'll see. But I'm giving y'all a little moment to see if y'all have any more questions, comments, concerns, and then I'll end this. But I appreciate you guys for coming to talk to me on a Saturday so we can all level up. And I want y'all to keep me posted on, what you want to do for 2025, right? I want you to keep me posted, whether it's on a live, whether it's on a video that I put out, whether it's on a post on those. Why do I go blank when I think about those things? I do them every day for y'all. The community tab, and just let me know. When I had my old channel before it got hacked, I would say the same thing. Keep me posted, because I love to see people progress. Love to see people to progress into better roles. My other channel that I had was strictly more so on travel nursing. And since I'm not travel nursing anymore, you're welcome. Since I'm not travel nursing anymore, I just wanted to talk about nursing as a whole. Okay, let me see. Thanks, trying to work it out. Let me see. Learning to love. Quick question. Do most hospitals take volunteers for nursery care, holding babies? I don't know. But you can always, this is what you could do, learning to love. What you can do is call the hospital, ask for HR, and ask them that question, because there might have been, where you can volunteer and hold the babies and stuff like that. A lot of people, like the workers, kind of do it. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, definitely call HR and say, hey, I would like to volunteer in the nursery. Is it allowed for you guys to accept volunteers in that area? And go from there, because you don't have to wait for a position in the nursery to come up, because if it's a position, then that means they're going to pay you for it. If you're like if it's a position on like their website, that's something for you to apply for as a job. So you need to call HR and just say, hey, do you guys have any volunteer openings for me to hold the babies in the nursery? I mean, you're probably going to go through a background check just like everybody else in the hospitals, because they want to make sure that nobody is a criminal around the babies. But yeah, that's something definitely you need to call human resources and ask. Okay. Thank you, Smooth. I try to be nice. I mean, nobody's perfect. We all have our days, but I try my best. All right. Thank you for thank you. I'll do that because Google isn't helping it. Yeah, Google probably won't when it comes to that. But depending on what hospital you want to work at, you can Google the number and get like their main line, and then just ask for HR and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I want to volunteer for nursery, and go from there. Right. I know you're not going to steal no baby. But, everybody that works in a hospital has a background check. They literally check you. And, I just thought about something. Maybe the miserable nurses that's there, because once you're in, I don't think they're doing a background check on you again. So you never know if something happened where when they started, their record was clean, but they may have a DUI or some type of case on them, and they can't go to another hospital. I never thought about that, but that can be the case, and sometimes because hospitals do a background check. So, never thought about that, but I know that ain't the case for me. I can go to whatever hospital I want. But yeah, I thought about that for the miserable people that work in somewhere, and you're like, why are you still here? Because they're probably trying to cover up something, or they're comfortable and don't want to move, and they're set in their ways, and they're okay with being mean. All right, guys, let's see about these polls. Anybody else? Let me click on it. It didn't open down. Here we go. All right, 50% says bachelor's degree. So remember, do your research. Look up scholarships. Apply for grants. Ask your job to reimburse your tuition. A lot of jobs have sign-on bonuses now. Like if you starting somewhere else and you're new to that hospital, there are sign-on bonuses. But that's because they want you to work for a couple of years. So whatever that amount is, it's going to look nice and good, but you're not going to get it as soon as you start. They're going to split it up. You'll get something for 6 months, maybe a year 2, something like that. Because I had a sign-on bonus when I worked in the ICU. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this poll up. I appreciate you guys for watching this entire video, or if you haven't watched the entire video, I appreciate you chiming in with me. If you're at the very end of my, I'm going to give y'all something. So I don't know if you're a nurse that wears scrubs, but I do have a scrub business. Currently, right now, my whole website is 65% off. So even down to the little, I keep pressing this. I hope it's not sounding like scratchy. Even down to like the little badge reels and the badge cards, or the little highlighters, that's $1. They are literally 65% off. I am going to copy this link, put it in the chat for you guys. And if you want to get any type of scrubs, I will send. They are literally the accessories, the socks, the scrubs are in my house. And I'm going to pin it there. And you get a discount on me for watching. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to end this live. And you guys be blessed. And y'all have a good one. And I will see you in the next live. Bye. If I can cut it off. There we go. God bless you too.